the royal footballer. Faiki Bolkiah is worth $20 billion, not million, billion. That's 10 times more than Messi and Ronaldo's wealth combined, and he's achieved it without scoring a single goal anyone outside Thailand remembers. He plays for Ratchaburi FC in the Thai League, earning $2,900 a month. That's less than a mid-level office worker in London. He could buy every Premier League club tomorrow and still have change for a private island. The math doesn't math until you realize he's the nephew of the Sultan of Brunei, one of the wealthiest royals on the planet. His football career is a masterclass in almost making it. Chelsea, Arsenal, Leicester City, Southampton, trained with all of them, impressed everyone, then disappeared without a single first-team appearance. 0 competitive minutes at any of these clubs. When he played in the Singapore youth tournament with Arsenal, locals went crazy recognizing the prince, while his English teammates had no idea they were sharing a locker room with a billionaire. His bodyguards literally peeled plasters off his feet like he was made of porcelain, yet he bunked with the squad and ate the same meals as everyone else. The contrast is ridiculous. His family owns over 2,300 cars, Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, Bentleys that could fill a city. Faik drives a Toyota Yaris to training. A Yaris. His father, Prince Jeffrey Bolkiah, once burned through $10 billion on yachts and jewelry as Brunei's finance minister, a spending spree so insane it became a Vanity Fair feature. Faik walked away from all of it, chose Thai League football over palaces and private jets. He's the richest footballer in history by a comical margin, earning less than a championship player while sitting on a fortune that makes oil tycoons look broke. Most humble billionaire in sports, playing football like it's a hobby, because for him, it is. Ronaldo's billion-dollar empire. Cristiano Ronaldo became football's first billionaire in 2020, and it wasn't luck. The man is a walking corporation, earning $200 million annually from Al Nassr alone, making him the highest paid athlete in any sport, period. Not just football, any sport. His lifetime Nike deal, signed in 2016, is worth an estimated $1 billion. Putting him in the same conversation as LeBron James and Michael Jordan as one of only 3 athletes to ever lock in that level of commitment from the swoosh. The CR7 brand spans hotels, gyms, underwear, fragrances, 7 different business verticals generating $50 million in profit every single year. This isn't a footballer who happened to get rich. This is a calculated empire builder who turned his abs into a billion-dollar industry. In 2015, Ronaldo pulled off one of the smartest moves in sports business history. He sold the majority stake of his lifetime image rights to his agency Gestifute for $450 million. While other players were signing boot deals and energy drink commercials, Ronaldo was securitizing his future earnings like a hedge fund manager. At 40 years old, he's still banging in goals for Al Nassr, still training like a machine possessed, and still posting shirtless photos that generate more engagement than most clubs' entire social media strategies. Every post feeds the algorithm, every goal lifts the brand, every trophy compounds the value. His net worth sits somewhere between 800 million and a full billion depending on which assets you count, and he's not slowing down. While most athletes at his age are contemplating retirement and golf, Ronaldo is chasing 1,000 career goals and expanding his portfolio like he's got another 2 decades left. The Saudi move wasn't a retirement tour, it was a $200 million masterclass in extracting maximum value while still performing at elite levels. Ronaldo didn't just break records on the pitch, he rewrote the entire economics of what a footballer could become off it. Messi's silent fortune. Lionel Messi earned $674 million over 4 seasons at Barcelona. 4 seasons. That contract leaked in 2021 and people lost their minds. It was so massive it nearly destroyed the club financially. Barcelona couldn't even register him under La Liga's salary cap, so the greatest player in their history walked away for free. But Messi wasn't sweating it. He was already 10 steps ahead, building something bigger. His Inter Miami deal isn't just about playing football. It includes a 35% ownership stake in the club. By 2030, that stake is projected to be worth $400 million as MLS explodes and franchise values go through the roof. Then there's his Adidas lifetime deal, worth a reported $1 billion. But here's the kicker, rumor has it he owns 0.3% equity in Adidas itself. Not just sponsored by them, but actually owning a piece of the company. Every boot sold, every jersey moved, Messi gets a cut. The Messi store, MIM hotels, business ventures across Europe and South America. The man's everywhere without saying a word. And nobody talks about his Andorra real estate portfolio. Hidden properties worth an estimated $200 million, so discreet most people don't even know they exist. While Ronaldo posts shirtless jet photos on Instagram screaming, "Look at my wealth," Messi quietly stacks it in offshore accounts and smart investments. His net worth sits between $650 and $850 million, depending on what you count. He moved to Miami and doubled MLS season pass subscriptions overnight. Apple's paying $2.5 billion over 10 years for MLS streaming rights, and Messi's the reason half those subscribers signed up. Every appearance prints money, every goal lifts the brand, and he does it all without saying a word. Silent assassin on the pitch, silent billionaire off it. Beckham's blueprint. David Beckham became the first footballer to earn more off the pitch than on it. $42 million annually from endorsements, while his playing salary sat at $32 million. That crossover moment in the early 2000s changed football forever. It proved that a player's face could be worth more than their feet. Real Madrid paid him $6.5 million per year, which sounds decent until you realize they sold 1 million Beckham shirts in his first season alone. They made the transfer fee back before he'd even completed a full campaign. The Galacticos era was built on star power, and Beckham was the ultimate proof it worked. His LA Galaxy move in 2007 looked like a retirement tour to most people. English press laughed at him. Critics said he was washed, but Beckham had negotiated a clause that would make him obscenely rich. The deal included a 10% ownership stake in Major League Soccer itself, not just the Galaxy, the entire league. That stake is now worth over $150 million as MLS has exploded in value and franchise fees have gone through the roof. He also co-owns Inter Miami with Jorge Mas, a club that was worth pennies when they launched and is now valued over $1 billion after signing Messi. Beckham didn't just play football, he played the long game. His current net worth sits at $450 million. That's more than every player from Manchester United's 1999 treble-winning squad combined. Giggs, Scholes, Keane, York. Add them all up and Beckham still has more. He's got endorsement deals with Armani, Pepsi, and Adidas that span decades, plus his own grooming and fashion lines that print money while he sleeps. Beckham's career is the blueprint every modern footballer studies. Maximize your peak earning years, invest in ownership, build a brand that outlives your playing days. Golden balls turned out to be golden everything. The grocery store king. Dave Whelan played left back for Blackburn Rovers in the 1950s and 60s, earning a modest salary in an era when English football had a maximum wage. Even the best players were closer to working class than wealthy elite. His career ended in the 1960 FA Cup final after a leg-breaking tackle left him unable to continue. He was 26 years old with no fortune, no pension, and no backup plan. So he opened a grocery store, then another, then a chain. JJB Sports became one of Britain's largest sporting goods retailers, and Whelan went from broken footballer to retail tycoon worth $210 million. In 1995, Whelan bought Wigan Athletic, a club rotting in Division 3 with no history, no fan base, and no hope. Nobody understood why he wanted them. He pumped money in, built infrastructure, hired smart managers, and dragged them up the English football pyramid like a man possessed. By 2005, Wigan were in the Premier League. They survived 8 consecutive seasons, becoming a solid mid-table side that defied every expectation. Then, in 2013, they won the FA Cup. Beat Manchester City 1-0 in one of the biggest upsets in modern English football. A club that had been playing in the 3rd tier 18 years earlier had just lifted the oldest trophy in the sport. He sold the club in 2015 for £22 million, but the DW Stadium still bears his initials. Whelan's net worth is $210 million, which means he's wealthier than Kylian Mbappe, despite playing in an era where footballers earned less than doctors. Let that sink in. The grocery store king built an empire that most modern footballers with their $100 million contracts can only dream about. Broken leg in an FA Cup final turned into a fortune bigger than the guy who just turned down $1 billion from Saudi. That's the ultimate long game. Rooney's United fortune. Wayne Rooney is Manchester United's all-time leading scorer with 253 goals. That record still stands and probably will for decades given how the club has fallen apart since he left. He earned somewhere between $170 and $216 million across his career, combining salary, bonuses, and endorsements into a fortune that makes him wealthier than 95% of active players, despite retiring in 2021. His Nike deal alone was worth millions annually. He appeared on 7 consecutive FIFA video game covers from FIFA 06 to FIFA 12, earning royalties every single year as teenagers around the world controlled his digital version and smashed in headers. Nokia, Ford, Coca-Cola, Asda, everyone wanted a piece of Rooney during his peak, and he cashed in on all of it. At his height, Rooney was earning £300,000 per week at United. That salary caused national outrage in Britain. People couldn't believe a footballer was making that much. He became one of the highest paid athletes in the world. The kid from Croxteth, a rough Liverpool neighbourhood, had become football royalty, living in a Cheshire mansion, driving cars that cost more than most people's houses. But unlike some players who blow through their earnings, Rooney invested smart and kept his sponsorships active. He's still making money. Coaching gigs with Derby County, DC United, Birmingham City, and Plymouth Argyle keep the cash flowing. Media appearances, punditry. The man retired 3 years ago and he's still pulling in 7 figures annually. Rooney's wealth proves that if you dominate at the biggest club in the world during the Premier League's explosion into a global product, you don't just get rich, you get generational wealth. He's the only English player of his era who managed to turn peak performance into peak earnings without the circus that followed Beckham or the injuries that derailed others. Wazza might not have the flashiest brand, but his bank account doesn't care. Neymar's spending problem. Neymar earns $78 million per year at Paris Saint-Germain. That made him one of the highest paid athletes on the planet. But the man spent an estimated $90 million annually on his lifestyle. He was somehow losing money while being absurdly rich. Private jets, yachts, jewelry, parties that cost more than houses, and an entourage that traveled everywhere. Neymar lived like a Saudi prince before he actually moved to Saudi Arabia. Then came the poker losses. Between 2018 and 2022, he dropped $50 million in high-stakes poker games according to leaked casino VIP host records. $50 million on cards. His sister Rafaela's birthday parties became a running joke in football. Every single year, without fail, Neymar would miss crucial PSG matches to fly to Brazil and throw a $1 million party. Celebrity guests, live performances, decorations that looked like a music festival. Fans started calling it the sister's birthday clause. PSG eventually had to schedule around it just to avoid the inevitable absence. The internet turned it into a meme. Neymar didn't care. He kept throwing the parties, kept missing the games, kept acting like football was a side gig. By the time Al Hilal came calling with a $300 million offer over 2 years, Neymar needed it. Rumors swirled that he was facing financial trouble despite earning ungodly amounts. His spending had outpaced even his ridiculous salary. The Saudi move wasn't just about football, it was a financial bailout disguised as a transfer. He lasted 18 months in the desert, played a handful of games due to injuries, then returned to Santos in 2025. A humbled version of the superstar who once looked destined to win Ballon d'Ors. Neymar's net worth is $250 million, but it could have been $1 billion if he'd spent smarter. Instead, he's the cautionary tale every young footballer hears. What happens when you prioritize lifestyle over legacy? Benzema's Saudi payday. Karim Benzema won the Ballon d'Or in 2022 after the greatest individual season of his career. He dragged Real Madrid to their 14th Champions League title with clutch goal after clutch goal in knockout rounds that felt scripted. 15 Champions League goals that season, including back-to-back hat-tricks against PSG and Chelsea that announced him as the best striker on the planet at 34 years old. Then he cashed out. Al Ittihad offered him $100 million per year. Benzema, who had spent his entire prime feeding goals to Cristiano Ronaldo instead of taking them himself, finally took the money and ran. His net worth is now $200 million, built on years of sacrifice followed by one massive payday. For over a decade at Real Madrid, Benzema was the ultimate team player, dropping deep to create space for Ronaldo, sacrificing his goal tally to make CR7 look even better, accepting criticism from fans who wanted a more selfish striker. But when Ronaldo left in 2018, Benzema exploded. 4 straight seasons of 20-plus La Liga goals, a Champions League title where he was the undisputed best player on the pitch, a Ballon d'Or that validated everything he'd been doing quietly for years. The Saudi move was pure business. Benzema got his flowers at Madrid, won everything, earned his Ballon d'Or, and then secured his family's financial future with a contract that pays him more in 1 year than most players earn in a decade. He also partnered with golf-based AI sports tech firms, positioning himself in the tech investment space that could pay dividends long after football. His Adidas lifetime deal keeps the money flowing from traditional sponsorships too. Benzema played the long game better than almost anyone. Patience pays. Zlatan's self-made wealth. Zlatan Ibrahimovic refused to pay agents their standard 15% commission, so he negotiated every single contract himself from the moment he left Ajax. No middlemen, no agency fees, just Zlatan, his lawyer, and a willingness to walk away if the offer wasn't perfect. Over a career spanning 4 decades and 9 different clubs, he earned $480 million and kept 92% of it after taxes by routing payments through Swedish trust fund structures that were perfectly legal and brutally efficient. While other players were handing millions to agents, Zlatan was banking it, investing it, and building a fortune that now sits at $190 million. He scored over 570 career goals across Italy, Spain, France, England, and the United States. Won league titles at almost every stop. Became the only player to score in each of the last 4 decades. His longevity was freakish. He was scoring bicycle kicks at 40 years old for AC Milan, performing at a level that would have been impressive for a 25-year-old. Malmo, Ajax, Juventus, Inter, Barcelona, Milan, PSG, Manchester United, LA Galaxy, back to Milan again. Zlatan treated clubs like rental cars, used them perfectly, then upgraded when something better came along. He never stayed too long, never overstayed his welcome, and always left with his value intact or increased. Off the pitch, Zlatan owns stakes in 11 companies, a Volvo sponsorship worth $15 million in equity, real estate investments, fashion ventures, media projects like his autobiography and podcasts that keep his brand alive even in retirement. His net worth of $190 million proves that controlling your career, negotiating smart, and refusing to let anyone take a cut unless they truly add value is the path to wealth. Mbappe's bonuses. Kylian Mbappe turned down a $1 billion offer from Saudi Arabia in 2023. At 23 years old, he chose Real Madrid and the chance to become a legend over instant financial security that would have made him richer than almost every footballer in history. That decision was so rare in modern football, it almost felt fictional. PSG had offered him a $100 million signing bonus up front, plus a $70 million loyalty bonus to stay. He refused both, walked away from $170 million in guaranteed money because he wanted the Bernabeu and the white shirt. That's not just ambition, that's legacy over cash in an era where almost nobody makes that choice. His Real Madrid deal is worth $180 million over 5 years, but the structure is unprecedented. He gets a 50-50 split on image rights, something almost unheard of at a club as brand-focused as Madrid. Because he arrived on a free transfer from PSG, Mbappe had the leverage to demand terms that most players can only dream about. The signing bonus was spread across the contract, but the image rights deal is where the real money lives. Every jersey sold, every commercial aired, every sponsorship activated, Mbappe gets half. At 25 years old, he's already earned $300 million in career earnings. That makes him the youngest centimillionaire in football history and the fastest wealth accumulation the sport has ever seen. The craziest part? He's just getting started. Mbappe is PSG's all-time leading scorer, World Cup winner at 19, hat-trick in a World Cup final at 23. Now the face of Real Madrid's next generation of Galacticos alongside Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham. Every goal he scores increases his value, every trophy adds to his brand, every year he spends at Madrid cements his place in football's pantheon. The billion-dollar Saudi offer will always be there. But Mbappe bet on himself, on his legacy, and on the belief that being the best is worth more than being the richest, for now.